Greetings and welcome back to Doctor Who Revisited, where I go through every single episode of Doctor Who from 1963 all the way to 2025 and review them. And now we are on to The Leisure Hive, the first episode in Tom Baker's final season, season 18. And before we even get to talking about the episode itself, we gotta talk about the new intro, the new opening titles, which is among my favorites of all Doctor Who opening sequences and Doctor Who theme songs. I just love it. The new Peter Howell composed musical score, and plus the effects, the visuals with the stars forming the Doctor's face and the new logo. I just love it. It is among my favorites, and it's long overdue. I'm sorry to say this. I mean, the original Ron Grainer, Delia Derbyshire theme, I love it. It's iconic. It's been way overused. I mean, think about it. It was introduced in 1963, and gone through several revisions throughout the first, second, and third and fourth Doctors. But for the most part, kind of stayed the same all the way up to 1979. That's like 16 years of the same, more or less the same theme tune. Yeah, the new version was long overdue, and boy, did it not disappoint. It blew the doors off the last one. Again, all due respect to the original Ron Grainer, Delia Derbyshire theme. Having said that, the episode it debuted with, wasn't the best, in my opinion. First of all, let's just get this out of the way. I do think the production value has gone up significantly in this episode. I'll say that. The sets look much more well thought out and well planned out. Some of the effects look like they've been significantly upgraded since the last one. And even some of the costume design, especially for the Argolans, is a huge step up. But then again, you also have the Fomassi in this episode, which, could be done better. I suppose some of them look really ridiculous at parts, but I suppose the idea of the Fomassi is cool. I don't think the costumes on screen convey or justify the design of the Fomassi. And speaking of costumes, this has been a big point of contention for me for many years. I am not a fan of the Doctor's new look in this whole season. I mean, the fourth Doctor it's always been this colorful ray of sunshine, and then in this season, in his final season, you give him this monochrome, monotone, for lack of a better word, boring look. And they completely nerfed the power of the scarf for this Doctor, which is saddening. It's very unfortunate. It's not a very it's not uplifting. And usually when you look at the Doctor and you see, especially the fourth Doctor, you see that crazy scarf and the mismatched colors of the coat, the boots, and everything, and the hat. You get inspired by the Doctor's outfit. I feel none of that in this outfit, which is unfortunate. I do kind of like Romana's outfit, but I mean, it's kind of ridiculous that basically she wore essentially a bathing suit for the entire episode because they were planning to go to the beach. But again, because of the randomizer, they accidentally landed in the wrong season. A wrong season to be going to the beach. Let's put it that way.
Where's the beach?
And for some reason, she just kept the outfit for the entire episode instead of changing it once they left the beach. I think that's kind of ridiculous. But I mean, hey, Lala Ward looks great in everything, so doesn't really matter all that much. It's great to see K9 back, and it's so great to hear John Leeson's vocal talents being used again for the voice of K9 for all of 2 seconds, because for whatever reason they decide to just write K9 out of the episode entirely once again, which is kind of annoying. I mean, after we've gotten used to writers writing the episodes with K9 in mind, I mean, we're no longer in the first and K9's first debut season where the writers just did not know that they were going to have to deal with this robot dog companion in the episode, so they literally just had to find excuses for why K9 couldn't be in the episode. We went from that to having K9 be a firm, essentially inseparable part of the Doctor Who episodes, and then we get to this season where the first two, I believe also the third episode as well, just, a complete absence of K9ism, which is unfortunate. And the way they write the K9 out of the episode is, I think, ridiculous. With Romana being frustrated with him, so she throws the ball for him to fetch. First of all, how is he even supposed to do that? But yeah, I mean, did you not notice that you're in the beach and you threw a beach ball on a very windy day, potentially in the direction of the water, knowing K9 is a robot? And I suppose they kind of tried to write themselves out of it by suggesting that K9 has waterproofing, which the Doctor got wrong. So that's why, basically his head exploded. But I mean, 1 minute she's frustrated with the dog, she throws him the ball, and the next minute she's mortified by the very idea that he's running into the water. And then she tries to blame it all on the Doctor. Yeah, really not a big fan of that. But, it's a thing that happens. I mean, none of that has anything to do with the rest of the story, because they just get up and leave to the planet Argolis, which, by the way, I think it's a very fascinating planet lore-wise. But again, it's a recurring theme in classic Doctor Who, where they barely explore the potential of some of these planets. I mean, it starts out very interesting with the war between the Argolans and the Fomassi, a war that lasted 20 minutes, which, okay, how do you run a war in 20 minutes? But yeah, it doesn't really. I wish I kind of knew more about how that particular war was waged. What did they do? We don't really get an answer as to what exactly they did that essentially damaged their planet the way that it did, making it completely uninhabitable. So, I would like to know more about that. And unfortunately, I did look this up. The novelization doesn't really expand too much on the 20-minute war between the Fomassi and the Argolans. Apparently, it expanded a lot about the ancient history of the planet, which is cool, but not so much the main focal point of the episode. But it is what it is. But I mean, again, a very interesting lore with the Argolans, where they basically became sterile, and they're basically an endangered species at this point. They're trying to go. They're essentially about to go extinct, and they have this little cone-shaped structure on their on the top of their head with this little orb, these little tiny marble-like things that fall off as they age. Again, really, really cool design for an alien. I really like that. And I really do like the idea that essentially the main, let's say, antagonist, Argolin in the episode, Pangol, was essentially a child of the machine. Basically a new generation clone, almost, of the Argolins, and he basically wanted it to be the next generation of Argolins, which kind of explains by the end why all throughout the episode he was doing these ridiculous moves to try and sabotage his own people and his own people's plans for the future. And by the end, you know why, because he didn't want a deal with the humans. He didn't trust any other alien species. He didn't want to deal with the Famasi. He wanted him to be the next leader of Argolis and create clones of himself to essentially be the next generation of the planet, which is cool. It's a cool idea. I just think the road to get there could have been a lot more interesting. I think part 4 of this episode is probably the most interesting part, because I mean, it starts with a major plot twist that the main Earth business guy was actually a Famasi in disguise, and was actually part of a radical group that wanted to seize control of other planets. That's cool, and I do like the shift in tone with the Famasi once this truth is being revealed. Just, the other 3 episodes were a bit of a slug fest to get through. I mean, the Doctor aging 500 years was pretty interesting, but I mean, I think this episode is mostly memorable for its cliffhangers rather than the actual plot of the episode. I mean, cliffhanger number 1, the Doctor is in that machine that we already saw kill someone earlier, and he's being ripped apart. Cliffhanger number 2, the Doctor goes into that same machine again, ages 500 years. Cliffhanger number 3, the big "I am your father" type plot twist, where it's being revealed that the main human character in the episode was actually a Famasi in disguise the whole time. So yeah, the main draw for this episode are the cliffhangers, not so much the main story. Cool design for aliens, really good looking sets, but a very dry storyline all the while. Like, why do they focus too much on the guy that was killed? I mean, the guy with the glasses. I can't even remember the guy's name. It says a lot, but I mean, his entire purpose in the episode was to get killed so they can frame the Doctor for his death. And I love when this scarf was found wrapped around this man's neck, and it's like, arrest the scarf then. So yeah, love that part. But I mean, they focused way too much on that guy who was only in the episode for like 2 minutes. But whatever. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this episode. I think this whole season was a major step up, which I guess they kind of that's what they wanted to give Tom Baker the send off that he deserved. I just don't think they nailed it out of the gate with the first episode, but thankfully the other episodes get a lot better, much better in my opinion. So yeah, these are my thoughts on this episode. Let me know what you think about it, and I'll see you next time for the next episode in this season. Until then, everybody, goodbye. Hello again. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment. See you next time.